Oh, record in the
So
corner.
we are now live with Calum Reid, Racketlon legend. So this is just a bit of fun. Do a quick
Hello.
interview, amuse us all during the lockdown, and I'm sure it will be very humorous. So we had a few ideas for topics, Callum, but I just wanted to ask you how you found out about Racketlon back in the day.
Oh, just an easy starter there. Oh, how did I find out about Racketlon? So I think I heard about Racketlon in about 2003. And my good friend Katie Buchanan, or formerly Buchanan, was hassling me about this tournament she'd gone to in Scandinavia somewhere for about a year and saying, oh, it's great. And I used to play tennis with Katie at a home club. And she knew that I played table tennis. And she was like, oh, Calum, I think you might be all right at this. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Didn't do it for about a year. And then eventually I just I gave in. And Katie entered me into what was formerly the British Open, which was played in the glorious haven of Watford.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Somewhere around there, I think.
Yeah, David Lloyd. I don't know if they got rid of their squash courts, actually. There's that Blaze is the new craze, isn't it? You heard of that?
Oh, they possibly got rid of the squash the minute they saw me play on them. So,
Who won that
yeah.
tournament? Rickard Persson, was it, or Magnus?
So there was some absolute beauties in there. Yeah, there was Magnus was there. Rickard, I think, was there. John O'Donnell. In his
Did you go straight in the A, or did you go in the B?
Yeah, so basically Katie organised the entire thing for me because I was effectively a child, and she booked all the accommodation, everything. It was quite pathetic.
Well, you were 27, so
yeah, I went in the I went in the A. I went in the
oh,
A.
you're in the A.
Tournament. Yeah.
I didn't know. Yeah.
And I was meant to play with John O'Donnell in the doubles.
Oh, yeah.
As John was reasonably friendly with Katie at the time.
Okay.
And then I think there was something that happened quite shortly before the tournament started. So
Oh, I see.
The next best player other than John was Andy Pettersson's.
Oh, right. Was that the A doubles, was it?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, dear.
I could be wrong, but
rest in peace, Andy. I always remember he said to me, I don't know if you were at that Hungarian Open when we had a bit of social. You might, I don't know if you were there or not, but he always talked about his water bottle having to be full of hot water.
I don't remember this, but I can imagine it.
And he in his thick northern accent, he'd go around saying, well, you wouldn't put cold water into a furnace, would you?
I don't remember that, but yeah, he had.
Oh, brilliant!
He had his. He obviously had his routine.
Yeah, he loved it. The only Racketlon player probably to have a kettle in his racket bag. So
I never saw that actually, but I was too amused with his glove and his mannerisms. But
Ray Jordan's first ever Racketlon opponent, Andy Pettersson's. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a claim to fame right there. He was the first match that I played in.
Oh, right, in the doubles, yeah.
So yeah,
Ray beat him, but Ray beat him, but he's lucky that Andy was a table tennis player. Really, I think Ray beat him to about 14, but got stuffed in the squash to 5.
That's probably not one to remember.
I presume Andy would have gone second in the squash, wouldn't he, at that stage in 2004?
Oh yeah, I was absolutely headless.
Yeah.
Yeah, just.
Oh, that's that's funny. That's good. So Did you win a match in the men's A? Was that?
Yeah, I did actually. First round was, so we lost our doubles match disastrously to some mighty partnership of Stuart Foster and some other delinquent. And played singles against Chris Noakes, and he was like the perfect profile for me. I think.
Yeah.
The draw
makers. Because he
would
was
have
really
been...
awful at badminton, wasn't he? But obviously very good at squash.
The top sport was squash. Yeah.
Which was your weakest at the time.
Yeah, so it worked out for me perfectly, and I was just better than... He was quite a good table tennis player, but I was playing a lot of table tennis and tennis then still, so...
Yeah. Yeah, you would have beaten him at 3 Sports, yeah. Chris Noakes.
Yeah, it was...
Former world number 14. Well, not bad for your first event, really.
Yeah, not bad. And then I played Steve Thompson.
Oh, yeah.
Which is quite close. I think he needed 7 at tennis, and it got to like 13 or 14.
Yeah. He was a decent player, wasn't he? Didn't he? He made a comeback, didn't he, a few years ago and got to the over 45s final, I think.
Did he?
Lost to Sakovic. Oh, when I say that, might have been about
must be 50,
7-8 years ago. Yeah.
Oh yeah. He did get to the final of the seniors once or twice actually.
Yeah.
But
yeah, good player. Is he still knocking about, or you don't?
Well, I still get sort of pop-ups on some feeds and things like that. Like he's still, I think he's still playing badminton, like doubles badminton with his.
Yeah. Would be a strong player. Should get him back involved. Would he be 55 yet, or
near about? Yeah, he must be. I mean, he was. I've got a memory of like the 2000. I think I shared a room with him 2009 at Worlds or something like that, and I'm pretty sure he was playing vets then.
Yeah.
So that would make him 55.
Well, strong player, be good in the 55s team, but I suppose we don't want to go off on too many random tangents. But yeah, no, that's good. Stuart Foster's just put on Facebook an unbelievable list of Racketlon achievements. Have you seen that?
What? No, I've not. Of his own achievements?
Yeah. It's just, I think, because there was on the Racketlon Facebook page, there was something like, what is your Racketlon DNA? And then everyone was listing stuff. Stuart's kind of made his own list with his own questions and obviously geared towards his own experiences. But yeah, it's quite entertaining. I think you read it and then you think, I don't have answers to all of those questions, but I think his idea is you could just come up with your own random questions. Post this list of stuff. So very good. I'd recommend having a look at that. Stuart Foster on Facebook. Okay, so I did say I was going to mention haircuts, but we don't have to cover that for very long.
Oh well, it's one of my favourite topics, really. But it's sort of the importance has sort of dwindled away once I met Leonie, because I mean, my favourite haircut was actually probably pre-perm, where I had just long, straight hair, which is pretty awful, really. But
is this sort of Bjorn Borg or any other heroes?
I wouldn't say there was any long-haired ginger heroes that I had. No. I just it came about that I had to grow my hair long and get it big curly bush, but obviously to do that I needed long hair in the first place, so I had to let it grow for like 18 months.
Is that very famous picture, isn't there, on Racketlon.com, which I think Hans Mullemar used for the next 12 years?
Well, there's a couple of good ones. Once I had it curled, but then there's one before it when I think I was in Bulgaria where I'm playing table tennis and I'm hitting a forehand, so my body's going to the right, but my hair in a big mushroom cloud is going to the left. You can't really see my head because I've just got this big mushroom top hair moving the other way.
Yeah.
I would quite like to have it back, but it takes so long to grow, and we'll just me and Leonie will just end up looking like the same person.
Yeah, I mean, we were going to talk about Bulgaria, weren't we? So, I mean, that 2004 tournament, looking back, I mean, it's kind of probably. I mean, I wasn't there. I wasn't at the English Open or the Scottish Open in 2002, but I imagine it was probably a similar sort of experience, really.
I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't. The first Scottish Open I was at was 2004, but yeah, I suppose tournaments, particularly ones in new countries, were a complete lottery.
Well, there were 20 of us, weren't there? And I think, was it me, you, Chris Noakes, Katie, Magnus, and 15 Bulgarians? Is that right? For the first one?
Oh, I feel like there might have been. Was there really only that many players?
I think in the first Bulgarian Open, they did obviously grow it significantly, and then held the World Championship some years later.
I don't. Jesus, did they?
Not a quiz.
There was certainly no one that I can remember that was significant other than Nikolai.
Yeah.
At the time,
I lost to a guy first round who had never played squash before. I think was in the national badminton team as a junior and was now a tennis coach. So obviously not brilliant for me. Something like 21-3. I think I did all right at badminton, but tennis, he might have even bageled me, to be fair. I definitely
Did I not play him? Did I not
play him? Yeah, next round.
Yeah, that's the
He's a lunatic on the squash court.
He was a bit of a lunatic all round. He got pretty annoyed later on.
Wasn't he diving around and stuff on the squash court? Really?
Yeah, because obviously in Bulgaria the squash was last, wasn't it? So
the squash was last. Yeah,
and he got driven in a minibus somewhere to the courts, and yeah, he was very good at these two middle sports. Like I mean,
badminton, tennis, yeah.
Badminton wasn't, I played badminton at school and stuff, so I was still just getting a little bit better, but pretty basic. And I remember being 11-0 down at half time.
Yeah.
And then because the conditions were so terrible, you changed halves, and he couldn't see the shuttle the second half. So
that's right.
So we drew the second half 10-all.
Yeah. Oh, maybe I did get stuffed at badminton. Maybe my memory was your match.
He was pretty good. Yeah, he was pretty good, and then he duffed me up at tennis though as well.
Yeah. I think you sneaked it, didn't you? Because
I won by like 5 or 6 points, but he was awful at squash somehow.
He never played again, I don't think, did he?
Probably not, because I think a lot of the players that were half decent. There was a couple of females that were there that Katie played that were good, and they just didn't have any money. They couldn't travel.
No,
so I think they came. I don't
know if he did another Bulgarian Open, but I mean, his table tennis was tennisy and his squash was non-existent, but his badminton and tennis was pretty good,
Yeah, no, he was handy.
What was his name? Stoichkov,
No idea.
Or not Stankov, that's the top guy, isn't it?
Stoichkov's the famous footballer, so
I'll have to look that up. It'd probably be on the tournament report. I imagine I wrote that. So, yeah, very good. But, yeah, do you think if squash was last in Racketlon, you'd get more diving then? And that's my only experience with squash being last.
It would be, yeah, I can imagine it'd be pretty desperate. I mean, it's pretty desperate anyway sometimes. You would get people darting around, throwing themselves. There'd be probably a lot of sweat on the floor. But
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
You get more arguments if squash was last. I suppose you might do.
That's true. Yeah, there'd be less pressure on the gummy arm serve. You're doing well.
Yeah, that's true. It's a bit of a funny thing in tennis, isn't it? Because it's the only sport with two serves, obviously.
Yeah.
So maybe the order should be changed, or I mean, that was debated. Do you think that rule should change, the gummy arm? Is it fair?
No, it's not fair. Of course, it's not fair. I mean, it's just accepted. I mean,
yeah.
Maybe it was yourself I read a comment of that. It should be changed, or maybe it was Ray suggested something like you play a few points at each sport or something like that. I mean, logistically,
yeah, no, that was me. Yeah, I think the tennis players. See, this has been a constant thing. Obviously, I organised Racketlon for a long time, and the tennis players always push back. Oh, I never get to play tennis, but actually, I think having tennis last is a real advantage.
Well, if you're a tennis player,
yeah,
but look, you can look at this completely both ways.
Yeah,
I was quite fortunate, so I think the way the sports ran for me, coming from the table tennis and the tennis background, I always started quite well, or at least I didn't get duffed up. So I was never, if I was behind, I was never far behind, and similarly, I always finished with what was my second best sport. So I was always like in a position where I was in my last, like one of my better sports at the end. So I never really felt the initial, oh, this is so unfair, the order of the sports. For me, it was like, I just need to get through the middle two sports. I'm sandwiching between my two stronger ones.
Yeah, I mean, my point was, having probably lost 50 close matches through not being able to play tennis for 15 years, I think maybe I've turned the corner a little bit with that. But that's 15 years of my Racketlon career, probably 35 years of my life. But yeah, I just think it's such a stressful thing being in that situation, getting to the end of the match and then saying, right, I can't hit the ball, I can't win a point. And then you need like 2 points or something.
Yeah. As I say, it must be difficult coming into the sport, or then having played for a bit and you're always in the same position, just with the way that your strengths work. And it would be interesting just to see if they just mix stuff up again, because there was tournaments I played that do that because of the way the courts were, because of the way the setup of the venues were. But I know that it's not a bad idea. I think just
some people quite ferociously against that, but I don't see why not, and I think it does make it a bit more interesting. And I mean, people also say about squash, if you're not very good, it's hard to get a point. So I suppose that's true as well. I remember that more when I started playing Racketlon. It was literally, you'd watch Magnus or someone like that and you just think, how do I get a point? It's just impossible.
Yeah, there's a baseline where you have to, in those middle two sports, you have to get to a certain standard before you're scoring anything against someone that's decent, which isn't the same as the other two sports. But you can hit the ball very hard in one of the other two sports, and you probably get a point.
Yeah,
probably get a few points just slapping the thing around. Whereas, but you can say that about the sports all day long, but you can shank the ball in squash.
True.
You can slap it in the neck inadvertently. You can hit the other player because you don't know how to play the game and you're in the way, and then you get a stroke for nothing.
Yeah.
There's good squash players inevitably have to put up with inferior players who don't know the rules.
Well, you must be referring to my match with Nick Matthew recently.
I didn't see it. I still need to watch it. It's really good stuff.
Well, I was 6-3 down, and I came back to 6-all, and it was sudden death to 7. And I definitely should have won that point. I'm very annoyed with my shot selection.
Oh, not the referee.
No. I mean, I think had I dropped it up on the backhand, I reckon I would have done it. But I played a cross court or something. Yeah.
You thought you'd hit a winning backhand drop against Nick Matthew?
I reckon I would have done. I watched it and I'm thinking, if I would have dropped it, I would have won the point, but I did cross-court drive.
Panicked. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's easy done.
yeah, that would have been nice. But anyway, so have you played many gummy arms?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I've not actually played that many. I mean, I played one early doors, first Scottish Open actually, so only about my third tournament or something. So that was in Monteith.
Oh yeah,
The one that my Racketlon daddy Phil Reid organised.
yeah.
And it was it was against Marcel.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And he was giving it big licks as he was for a couple of years. And
So that's semis.
No, I think it was the quarters. Yeah, totally duffed him at table tennis, and then he sort of bullied me at the middle too. And I actually played really well at tennis, and I beat him pretty low, and we obviously ended up drawing. And I'd played the set like really, really well, hardly missed the ball. He's obviously pretty good at tennis, particularly when he was a bit younger as well. So like 21-10 or something, I beat him. And I think I'd saved like 3 match points already. So I got to the gummy arm, didn't really know what was going on. Obviously spun the racket, he won, gave it to me. And got the serve in, we played a really long point, and then because I wasn't really playing Racketlon the same way as I probably was 2 or 3 years later, and I just attacked, very unlike me, and I hit the ball long, and that was it.
Do you remember what you said to me after that match?
You remember this? God damn it.
Well, it was quite aggressive, so it sort of stuck with me over the years, yeah. It's all right. It's not repeatable anyway for public consumption.
Oh, is it something about him?
No, I think you were just a bit angry.
Oh, yeah, I was furious with myself, but
it's all right. I forgive you. It's all right.
Oh, was it to you? Was it about you? Or
Oh, yeah. I think there's probably about 10 years until I stopped being scared of you after that. But
did I threaten your family? I
think as if anyone asked you what the score was, then you know.
I do hate that. Yeah, it's a bit of a pet hate of mine.
You sort of, and then I always probably stayed with me probably forever. To be honest with you, that I always thought, right, I'm not going to ask Calum what the score was until I know from someone else.
Yeah, it's people just can't help it. It's just one of these things. Like, what do you think? You know, if you've seen me walk off and you've seen the last point and you've seen me blast it long, it doesn't matter what the score is. I've no idea what happened. I don't know what.
Well, I was just glad you didn't have an axe, really.
Yeah, I was probably in my racket bag and I probably just stormed off.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, apologies, whatever went down, yeah.
No, it's all right. It's perfectly understandable. I mean, losing to Marcel on a gummy arm, I think most people would be fairly upset.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed. But,
all right, good.
I've only played one other one, though. Only one other one in my entire time.
Wow.
But, that was against Samanek.
Oh, yeah.
Krzysztof Samanek in Czech Republic. I think I'd taken a bit of a break and came back and played a tournament in Prague, and I don't know what was going on. We just played every sport for ages. Every sport was really close. He was pretty good, pretty all round.
He's a good player, I think. Not sure what's happened to those guys, but yeah, they were pretty good, weren't they?
Well, then they drank themselves to death, and that's possibly what happened.
Alcohol. Yeah,
Yes,
maybe.
mainly.
Age, alcohol. What, do you have any memories of matches you've enjoyed watching?
Yeah, I've got a few. One that's always comes to mind is watching. I've already mentioned him, but Steve Thompson was quite entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
He was. He's a life coach,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I don't know if you knew that or not, but he.
Rings a
So
bell, yeah.
he was quite like. Well, he was very serious and very focused, and it was in a Scottish Open. I can't remember which one, but he got to the final, I think, of the vets, and there's quite a lot of people because there's quite a lot of Scottish players playing at the time that were playing a lot of tournaments. So it was quite a good group of us, and Steve was one of them. So there's quite a lot of people watching his match, and I think he was playing Peter Sack of Chips.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And he was just a cheat. I think everybody knew he was just dirty and he was a cheat.
Yeah. We'll just put a disclaimer on that this is individual opinions. Don't sue Racketlon. Yeah.
That's my opinion as well as everyone else's. But yeah, no, it's my opinion.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, hopefully he doesn't speak English. Yeah. So carry on. We'll edit that out.
Yeah. Anyway, it was really close. Got down to the tennis, and we were all sort of really shouting for him the whole time until it got to about like the third or fourth point of tennis. We were still screaming after every point, and he eventually came over to the side of the net, or like the side netting of the court, and he actually said something like, "Okay, guys, I've really appreciated all your support throughout the match. It's really got me pumped up," and kept going, "but I actually need you to shut up now." I need to calm down. So we all felt quite bad, but I just remember standing at the side watching that match.
Yeah.
He won it. I'm pretty sure he won the match, so it was like a good result for him. And then another match that I quite fondly remember was you were probably there, the Team World Championships when Poland won.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I just remember a lot of people watching. It was like,
well, that was amazing because they were real underdogs and they beat Sweden, Austria, and Finland, didn't they?
Yeah, they had a couple of people who played for maybe a couple of years, I think, but they sort of just appeared with their national team who were just very good at certain.
Wasn't Salmonek Stalicki was the doubles pair, and then Rav was the singles player, and then they had a really strong lady. And the other singles player was kind of not. He had a very specific profile. I think his tennis was very dodgy. So you had this very dodgy number 2 singles player playing tennis always at the end, which was quite funny to watch. Yeah,
I think that guy that you're talking about, he won the B at that World Championships, and he was clearly better than that, if you know what I mean. He was capable because I think
he wasn't bad at the first 3, but it was just a funny dynamic that he was so awful at tennis. He had a really
I can't actually remember that, but
he had a really lopsided profile and he's so awful at tennis. And then because of Team Racketlon, you then had him going in needing 3-4 points. So all the team matches were always really exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember there was quite a good contingent of players that I went across with, and there was a lot of British players there, and obviously enjoying themselves on Saturday night. I think it must have been. And
that was Austria.
I think it was Germany, but maybe it was Austria. I can't remember. But
Poland, when Poland won.
Just just like quite. It was just because.
Oh yeah, it might have been Germany. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. There was some at that stage there were some surprises, but
2009. Maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
There wasn't that many surprises in Racketlon. You sort of knew roughly.
No, I mean, I think didn't they beat Sweden in the quarterfinals, and everyone just went, "What?"
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It was It was like a big surprise. The team event was like the big surprise. Everything else was kind of going the
I
way it
think
normally does.
Sweden had probably never lost a Racketlon team match until that.
Oh, quite possibly, quite
Yeah.
possibly.
I mean, because 2009, you would have still in Germany. I think there was no Magnus probably, but
no, he wasn't there.
but there was certainly Stefan and a
And I
lot of
don't
other
think
strong players.
Roland wasn't there, so they'd probably
Yeah.
just dropped off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean they were still pretty strong though, obviously. Yeah, Sweden.
yeah, they probably were at the time. Yeah, they had loads of players.
Don't know, would
So
they have
yeah, I
had
don't know.
Kjellberg and in 2009? I think some of these guys were still playing, weren't they?
Yeah, whether they were at that tournament, I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember the singles draw, and I can't. A Christian was there.
Well, I
Stefan,
don't know when Magnus stopped playing. Actually, I
he
instinctively
wasn't.
had a suspicion that he may have played the singles, but not the team event. That's what I thought, but maybe that's wrong.
I don't think he was in the event. No,
No.
I think he'd stopped.
Okay. All right. Cheers for that. So, what's your favourite venue / tournament?
Ooh. So I always quite liked going to Prague.
Yeah.
It's like one of the first ones that I'd managed to get like all the facilities and where you stayed, like all together.
Mm.
Literally, you went from that hotel underneath the road, I think, and you ended up in the leisure centre side of things. And
Yeah. Don't need to go outside.
yeah, that was always.
I think that was a very long tournament, wasn't it? In terms of it's been going a long time, but I think last year they didn't host it at the same venue, some sort of issue.
Yeah, I've been to a couple where they've had these venues with the hotel on site, and they've been good, like pretty good facilities.
I suppose that the current one be something like Club Los Santos. I think got that format. Yeah,
Okay.
You've not done that, have you?
No, scared of the sun. Where else is good? It's tough.
That's all right. So you're obviously following the fantasy Racketlon, are you, closely?
Following it, I'm just getting ready for the final. I don't know what you're talking about.
So when is the final?
Who's in the final?
No, when is it? When is it?
I'm waiting for the tournament director to confirm that.
Oh, right, okay. So what are your thoughts? How's your preparation been?
Oh, very good. I've feeling very loose. I'm ready.
Yeah, I think you could do it, to be honest.
Oh, well, probably can on my day, but
I mean, if Poland can beat Sweden, Lucas Spindisberger can beat Magnus. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's a funny. It's interesting to see what people say about this because
I mean that was ridiculous. I'm sorry. Do you think it's because people think, oh, Magnus lost to Casper before tennis in 2012, so then they think, oh, that's his level?
yeah, I mean, 100%. I wasn't there, but
Yeah.
what do you? I mean, I don't know how old Magnus was at that stage, but
44.
But no, when he played that match,
44 years old. Yeah.
How old is he?
44.
I mean, you're talking about comparing a guy whose peak was in 2005.
Yeah.
Like there's nobody that knows that. And well, I've played against him at his peak, but I wasn't at my peak.
Yeah.
So I
yeah.
can't compare. Do
you think because obviously with your squash improvement, do you think if you started playing again, you'd be better than ever?
Oh, I don't think so. I reckon
You'd obviously have to do a bit of training, but
yeah, yeah, it's a tricky one. My squash level is double what it probably was when I was playing Racketlon in terms of like knowing, just that one sport. But I think the badminton's the tricky bit. It'd take me a while to get the mobility and like dexterity back to play that at a good level. But
so I mean, your career highlight, presumably, unless you tell me different, would be winning the World Champs in 2011. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah. So that year I'd started playing again. I didn't really play for a couple of years. I had like a few patches where I took some time off. One was actually I had an injury. That's why I'd been playing for 4 or 5 years, and then it just sort of towards the end of, I think, 2009, there was a lot of people had sort of stopped travelling from Scotland, and it was becoming quite hard work, and I was going everywhere on my own basically. So I just lost a bit of the camaraderie. So and I injured my shoulder quite badly, so I had to stop playing sport basically. And I was a coach at the time, so it was quite tricky. So I had to stop doing lots of stuff and do a lot of work to get it right back in the right position. So then 2 years later, I met people like Duncan, and some other people that were quite close to me, like geographically.
So that put you off forever, presumably.
Yeah, I mean, I took one look at him and I thought, oh Christ, I can't go anywhere near this sport again. No, I sort of got back into it a bit, and it was nice to have a few people around actually that were in, like, just wanted to play and practice. So I started.
Were you in London then? Were you?
Yeah, I just moved down to London. So I'd had Dave Laz. I joined Redbridge, so I'd started playing squash leagues and stuff like that in London.
Yeah.
For like a year or so. So I was getting a bit better there, and they had loads of indoor tennis courts, so I was playing tennis teams. Anyway, I entered Belgium, I think, after not playing for like 2.5 years, and then did quite well. I think I lost to Joey or something like that. And then, so I had no ranking turned up. I entered the Worlds, but I think I'd maybe won a couple of tournaments before that, and I quite liked not having a ranking. I think I needed a wild card. I can't remember, but tried to not put much pressure on myself. I didn't look at the draw until I turned up for my first match.
So was it Stefan in the semis? Was that was quite a big win, wasn't it? Is that right?
Yeah, when I actually had a bit of a shocker of a draw. I had the first round was Michael von Mattern, Swedish player.
Yeah.
Who was he was fine, but but the second round was Evan Manser.
Oh right, yeah, tough.
And if you talk about like players that don't play that often that were good, he was like in the mold of Richard Thompson. Very good at 3 of the sports.
Yeah, but I mean, I remember seeing him a few years later. I mean, he's been practicing a lot of table tennis as well, so
yeah,
he wouldn't have been at his peak necessarily then.
Yeah, he was an
good
absolute
player.
handful. Yeah, he was hard work. So I think I knew I had to destroy him at table tennis. I think he got 2 points or something.
Yeah, right.
But I was actually it was that desperate trying to not get him a point. I was literally diving on the floor in the table tennis, like trying not to.
Because he's strong at the next 3, isn't he?
Yeah, so I think we went to Deuce at badminton.
Yeah,
something like that. 21-19, 22-20. I think I won that, and then played some sort of mammoth set at squash, which he won like 13-14. Leonie, I need I need a charger. Need a charger. Yeah, again. Need a charger. Just a second, sorry.
It's all right. Yeah, I mean, Evan Manser, He
Yeah.
played.
So
Oh yeah,
and then
sorry.
sorry, yeah, I played Joey quarterfinal.
Oh yeah, yeah.
At the time he was he was playing a lot, so he was like quite hard work as well. But
Mm.
I played that match pretty good actually. That was just all round pretty good. And then yeah, Stefan in the semis.
That was nip and tuck, wasn't it? I've got this memory. I don't know how I remember these things. Didn't you win the badminton to 4?
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's amazing.
I think I lost the table tennis to something like 17 or 18. So that's
Yeah,
obviously normally I'd beat him at least
yeah,
the other way round.
yeah.
And for some reason he wasn't moving that well that day. And
Right.
I got him like so many times with like cut drop shots in badminton, and I just didn't miss a thing. And he was going for all sorts of stuff, and it just wasn't working.
Yeah.
So sorry, just yeah, it just went really well. And then I think I needed like 12 points at tennis.
So obviously you beat Jesper in the final, but he I think beat Michael Dicker in the semi. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think he had a slightly easier route. I honestly can't really remember, but
So perhaps someone like Christoph Kren would have lost maybe to Michael Dicker. I can't remember, but
yeah, something happened with Christoph. I don't think he wasn't. He might have lost earlier to someone like Kopf or someone like that.
right, yeah.
Like it was a bit of a surprise, but I don't think he was either fully fit or with it
Mm.
for that tournament.
So I
yeah,
suppose
Jesper got to the final.
I suppose looking back, there was no Magnus, there was no Miko. Was that I think the first year Miko had stopped? Is that right?
I never played 2010, so I don't know if I can't remember
I
what
think
went.
Miko won that. Was that his last one?
Possibly, yeah,
Yeah.
possibly.
Um, Holland maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it was at Christmas time, wasn't it? Because
yeah, yeah,
it's a bit of a strange one. I just didn't go. I wasn't playing at
yeah.
the time. So.
Was that when? Oh no, I'm thinking of something else. There was a Holland Christmas World Championships quite early on, wasn't there?
Oh, maybe I'm confusing the two, but yeah,
No, I think there were two. I think there were two Holland Christmas World Championships.
I never went to
2010.
either.
But I think there was one going back earlier as well, maybe 2007 or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
Because obviously it's when Jeff Jordan, wouldn't have been 2010 because I think quite a few Brits were there, but 2007 when Jeff Jordan got his England cap.
Oh right. I honestly don't remember. I mean, there's actually quite a few World Championships I never went to.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Dotted around.
So you end up with Jesper in the final, and I suppose at that point, looking back, he wouldn't have been favourite to get to the final. I don't think at that point. I think he maybe beating Michael Dicker might have even been an upset, perhaps in 2011.
Maybe at that time, yeah. I think
Yeah,
someone like maybe
possibly. Yeah,
Torsten Deck was around.
yeah.
So someone like him, Christoph, Michael, Jesper. I can't think of anyone else that was maybe someone like Peter
Yeah, I
Deutsch.
think because my recollection 2011 was that him getting to the final was a bit of a surprise, and maybe I don't know how many tournaments he'd won actually at that point. I think 2012 was when he kicked in terms of winning most of the tournaments. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd played Jesper a couple of tournaments previously, and I played him in Hungary, and I don't think we played tennis, or if we did, it was like for a point or 2 points. And the tournament before that was the English Open, I think.
Yeah.
I think I played him in the two previous tournaments to that. and yeah, he's obviously shot up like 18 months, 2 years later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a bit of a.
Well, I think he hadn't won the world champs, had he, in 2013, and you had a very close semi, didn't you? But
yeah, yeah. Other than, well, yeah, I would say that I didn't do much wrong in 2011. I thought I played badminton quite well and got a point. Or I played it to I don't know, 80% of my level.
The squash was quite close, wasn't it? And then you were under a lot of pressure in tennis, and you really pulled it out of the bag.
Yeah, I don't quite. I think the sort of pressure must have switched in that tennis, because it was he needed 14, I think, to win, and it was 8-all, I think, or 7-all.
Yeah.
And he was doing all the right stuff. He was just absolutely pumping the ball with loads of spin high into my backhand, coming into the net, and then that was just working. And then I won the next like 3 points to go change of ends, like 11-7 or 11-8, and he just started making more and more mistakes. And there's one point that I remember notably, which was something like 15-7, where he came in again to the net, this time with a really good approach. And for once in my life, I put two hands on the racket and actually just hit a really good winning passing shot with my backhand, landed it right in the line. Maybe it was telling me it was going to be my day.
Yeah.
And then he didn't come to the net again.
2012, you didn't play, did you, Calum, after winning the world?
No, I was like struggling with motivation on and off. So once I'd won that, I thought, well, I can't do any better than that. So I stopped playing completely. And then again, I just got a bit of like a second wind, got in pretty good shape. And actually in 2013, I felt brilliant, actually. And even that semi-final that I lost, didn't do anything wrong at all.
No.
Was really happy with how I played. I felt I wasn't tired even after the match. So I was a bit disappointed, because I'd obviously done something right to prepare properly, and just felt really good. Should have won that, to be honest, but I think I chucked in 3 or 4 double faults in that tennis set when I was way up. But yeah, and then I sort of just
let's not dwell on that.
Dwindled away.
Probably should finish soon, but obviously we've been chatting last few days. Quite interested that you said you've gone plant-based.
I have. I put myself into a pot at the end of each night, and yeah. So at the end of last year, I'm basically just fed up getting injured, and obviously I'm getting a little bit older, and things are just generally a bit tougher, as they are for everyone. But just can't seem to stay loose. Couldn't seem to stop getting problems with my legs and things like that. And
I think we made a mistake. We'll have to start again, because I should put this at the start, and then there'll be more people watching.
Yeah, just to be honest, really fed up. So 18 months to 2 years of like just misery, just always injured. Obviously I had 2 surgeries on my arm, which is pretty depressing. That really shot my body as well. And I got like, I just wanted to do anything that I do. I was either just completely stop basically trying to compete at things, or...
What did you say? It was an ultra marathon runner or something?
No, I mean, I've been reading a couple of things, one of which is about an ultra marathon runner. Who's like got a lot of dietary stuff in there as well. But I just was speaking to people, and this is going to sound really cheesy considering I'm also Scottish, but I watched Andy Murray's documentary.
Oh yeah.
He like physical problems, way worse than what I've gone through. But there was a bit in that documentary, if you've seen it or not, which he
I have,
basically
yeah.
said, well, he's basically saying at one point, this isn't fair. Like, I have literally done everything I'm supposed to have done. I've gone on every bit of advice. I have like worked 110% physically. I've done exactly what I was supposed to do, and I'm still got this, you know, and I thought to myself, have I done literally everything I can to get myself fit again? Like, have I tried everything? So I thought, I'm going to try something different. So I changed my diet.
Yeah.
Which doesn't seem like a drastic thing to do, but as you know, well, you did it like 7 or 8 years ago, probably for different reasons. But
What's that?
you probably did it for different reasons. But
No, I've only been about 2.5 years, I think.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just thought to myself, I've got to try something different to make myself feel better and see if that helps, and if it doesn't, and
Has it helped?
yes, I would say it has. Yeah, pretty drastically.
Yeah.
I haven't been injured in 4 months, and yeah, okay, we've been in lockdown, so the last 5 or 6, there's been like no court time at all. But
Yeah.
the 2.5 months prior to that, I was playing as much as I have done in 3 years, and feeling a lot better, a lot fitter, not getting the injuries, so I was able to keep training.
So it's purely whereas from my point of view, I did it for kind of, I watched a documentary about health. Maybe sport was in my mind a little bit because I was going downhill. I probably just stopped getting worse rather than getting better. But that's where you're at as well. It's around health and sport.
Yeah, I mean, I just fed up with feeling tired, feeling sore, and the effects of that, like day in, day out. Obviously working, so I still want to play, still want to get better at whatever I choose to do, but my body was just not allowing it. Just going downhill, and then obviously mentally you just get annoyed. I do anyway. Just get annoyed that it's not allowing me to play and practice and whatnot. So
yeah, I mean, I've obviously not trained as much as you, etc. But I just think the whole thing with work and sport and energy and then everything, you know, something had to give me. And now, you know, I've got a family, and I just think, you know, wouldn't be able to do everything otherwise. I'm just pleased that I can keep playing sport at a reasonable level and, you know, do everything else, like with the strains of work and family. And, you know, I find it very helpful, really. Like you're saying about energy. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
obviously, like I had that when I first changed, I had the instant like hit, like the what's the word, oh, get it out of your system, forgotten the word. It's gone. But yeah, when you change, when I changed my diet, you got like 2 to 3 weeks of 5 times the amount of energy.
Yeah.
A crazy amount of energy, just from a detox of like coming off like meat and things like that. And
Yeah.
it's obviously plateaued a bit, and I started, you start to play more, exercise more, the better you feel. So yeah, I get fatigue from that, but I think it's just normal
It's just
fatigue.
the new normal now, though, isn't it? It's probably the new
It's just
normal.
the
Yeah.
new normal.
Yeah.
But what I don't have is the soreness. So yeah, I can feel tired and
Yeah. 2 minutes. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So you can feel tired mentally and a bit sluggish, but I don't have the physical like pain that I have had for like 18 months to 2 years. Whether it's
Good.
entirely
Good.
to do with the plants, I'm not sure, but it's certainly a contributing factor.
Oh, I think I said to you that
Definitely.
I certainly found that my recovery from hangovers improved significantly after going on a plant-based diet. So I definitely recommend it for all sorts of things.
Yeah, my first impression so far, 4 months in, very happy. I feel better. My
Yeah,
body feels younger, if you know what I mean, than it was.
yeah,
Um,
that's good.
and yeah, sometimes it's a challenge for me now just to find new ways of like eating the right stuff and getting what I need from it. But
And I
it's
sent I
better
sent
than
you a list of products, and you thought one or two were particularly interesting.
yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I need the 3 jars of chocolate spread, but I might start with one and see how I get on. And the pretend salami. Yeah, the jury's out. I'm afraid it looks just like a. Not sure what it looks like, but yeah, I'll be giving some of
Seitan,
it a go.
yeah. Well, it's a good substitute, seitan. I mean, it tastes good. I try not to think about too much what it is, but
Yeah,
it's basically wheat protein. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, I'll give it a
Okay.
shot.
Mm,
I'm not too fussy really.
yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of like the dark meat substitutes, if I'm honest. So
Yeah.
far, like
Yeah.
I don't think they taste great, but we'll
No,
try
I
it.
mean, I didn't have any meat or dairy substitutes for about the first 6 months. And then after that, I think I forgot what they tasted like. And then I enjoyed them, so do like substitutes now. But I suppose it was just the timing of when I started doing it. There weren't as many substitutes at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, yeah. It's obviously like the industry's, I don't know, booming for them.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Lots of options now in supermarkets. Yeah. Okay. Well, you can't get anything delivered though. That's the problem.
yeah, and we're gonna go to the shops later. We'll see. I'll report on how long the queues are. But
Yeah. Well, you could
yeah,
just order
no,
online at vegansupermarket.com.
yeah. You've put a little plug in there for a bit of
Yeah.
sales for
I'm
them.
not I'm not on commission, but I've used them 3 times during the lockdown, so delivery within 2 days, not bad.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's worth it alone.
Yeah, well, you can't. That's the thing, you can't get from anywhere else. So yeah, obviously
Yeah, I'll
good for
definitely be
us.
giving it a go. But
Yeah. All right, Callum. Well, just to finish, so you're mainly focusing on squash, are you, going forward?
yeah, at the moment, I don't. So I'm 35 now, so I'm looking at the started playing the Masters events. um, just before the lockdown, I had the Scottish Nationals, which were cancelled. If only coronavirus could have waited one more week.
How do you reckon you would have done?
Uh, I think I was going to be seeded 1 or 2, so
Okay.
I'd gone up and played one of the qualifiers and won that easily. So
This is in the Masters, yeah?
yeah, the 35s. So obviously, I'd quite like to play for Scotland. That's one of my goals.
In the Masters, presumably, yeah.
Yeah, because I've missed the boat with the
Yeah.
normal one. I played the normal nationals the year before and had a close match with the number 3 seed. So
Yeah.
I was there or thereabouts, probably around the top 10 mark.
Yeah. Very
Um,
good.
but yeah, I'm going
Okay.
to try. Hopefully, when squash is allowed to be played again, I'll be playing the
Well, a
British
bit of
Masters event.
racketlon at some point.
Well, if squash isn't allowed, then I'm going to be forced to pick up one of my other rackets. So
Oh,
no, I'm
what?
quite
Because
looking
there's no
forward.
social distancing in squash. Is that what you mean? Yeah.
Well, that's a possibility, I think.
Yeah.
So no, I'm quite looking forward to playing some tennis this summer. So
Yeah.
probably start with that, and then maybe we'll see what happens. I was entered to play play the doubles, obviously, in Prague in April.
Mm.
So I'll never say never, but play a singles event, I need 4 to 6 months
Sure.
practice.
Well, we'll see if we can get any practice in, shall we? That'd be nice.
We should, yeah, we should. I'll yeah, no, definitely. Still like playing everything. Just as you say, it's a bit of a challenge doing it. And you've got far more kids than I do, but
yeah, that's good fun. All right, cheers, Callum. I'm
thanks,
being
Keith.
called for lunch, so
No worries.
yeah, good to chat.
You too.
All right, take
Enjoy
care.
lunch. Take care.
See ya.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.